Star Wars Episode 9, could it bring back Han Solo? This is an interesting theory. It's just a theory, a Star Wars theory from Donna Dickens over on the Nerdist. Now, I'm not a big fan of Donna Dickens as a whole, but this is an interesting theory nonetheless, and it was spawned by Kevin Smith. Now, it says that no one ever wakes up in the morning and thinks, I want to write a theory about how Han Solo could come back to life after The Force Awakens. It's a ludicrous notion, which is true. But after the news broke that Billy D. Williams could reprise his role as Lando, Star Wars Episode 9 professional fanboy Kevin Smith took to Twitter with an off-the-wall idea, saying if, due to a time travel device or the Force, there's a plot development that allows Lando to go back and repeat his Empire Strikes Back line by saying there's still a chance to save Han and get us back to that fateful bridge on Starkiller base, then I'll kiss JJ on the mouth, I'll French him even. And it's don't get me wrong, as much as I love Kevin Smith and I think he's a fantastic writer, this is a very ludicrous and absurd, plot. Or is it? I mean, that's the question. Or is it? Right? I mean, people out there, don't want Han Solo to be dead, especially after watching the Solo movie and being upset at what happened on Starkiller Base. We also didn't 100% see him die. That's the other thing. I was kind of working on that theory after I saw the Force Awakens. He gets stabbed through the chest, okay, and then he falls off the side. So to us, we think that he's dead. In all likelihood, he probably is dead. But to us, we think that he's dead. But what if he happened to land near a trash compactor, or the exit to a trash compactor? What if he happened to land on something and he wasn't dead yet, and he slid like how Luke did in Empire Strikes Back? Right? And who happens to find him? Phasma happens to find him, and she knows that he's going to be valuable down the road, so she keeps him alive. She mends him. The base explodes a few minutes later. She clearly got out. What's to say she didn't take Han with her and using that as a bargaining chip down the road if they absolutely needed it? It's a weird out there theory, but honest to God, it's better than time travel. However, Donna did do a little bit of research into the situation, and she wrote here about the changes between the Starkiller base, the way it functioned in the movie, versus the canon novel when it was first published. So there's clearly some discrepancies between that, but as we know, when it comes to Lucasfilm, what happens in the books is definitely different from the movies. They're okay with that canon being broken, never mind that it comes across as highly lazy. Now, it says here that Starkiller Base did not originally drain the sun. It was powered by dark matter. One of the few head scratchers in The Force Awakens was how Starkiller Base actually worked. Was it draining one sun after another and then moving on? How did it shoot a beam across the galaxy in real time? Why did it turn into a sun at the end, other than the visual metaphor of light triumphing over the dark? Turns out it was never supposed to be powered by the sun. Situated in one place and messing with science they didn't understand, the First Order was harvesting dark matter to power their weapon. As the matter congealed to be sucked into the core, the light was supposed to dim. Then, using more science than barely understood, they beamed the concentrated dark matter through the galaxy instead of across it. Basically, they were ripping holes in space and time. Oh, and the target didn't explode originally. It turned into a tiny sun. So they're essentially creating sun by sucking the energy out of one, shooting it through what could only be like light speed for this particular projectile, and then hitting their target and turning that into basically a sun, just turning the planet into molten rock, essentially. Now, it goes on to say here, and this kind of goes back into my theory, what does this mean for Han Solo? It means he fell into the bowels of a piece of technology that may have been in part designed by aliens so ancient they've been forgotten by the rest of the galaxy. Aliens in the expanded universe that were called the Architects and had gizmos that would make Starkiller Base look like a speak and spell. Eventually, Architects evolved into canon demigods known as the Ones. Well, we do know that the Force exists and Jedi exist and the Sith exist, and I'm sure all sorts of other crazy things exist. Now, it says, regardless of origin, Han Solo definitely felt his alleged death inside of a weapon that punches holes in space and time. That leaves open a lot of possibilities. You can't just rip open the fabric of reality and expect people not to crawl inside and see what it is, which is just, again, it's an idea. It's a theory. It's a film theory about what could possibly be what happens with Han Solo, and what if he's still alive. Now, Harrison Ford, his schedule just freed up. right? His schedule just freed the hell up. He is definitely not shooting Indiana Jones until 2020. Because of script problems, are not shooting next April in 2019 for a 2020 release. It's now been pushed to 2021. By the time that film comes out, he will be 79 years old. So he ain't doing much right now. And I know that he was happy as hell to let Han Solo die, but he might also be feeling a little bit on the nostalgic side while waiting to get back into Indiana Jones one last time, that he comes back in some form or another for Star Wars. It could happen. It could happen. And honest to God, look, if they found a way to bring him back in a way that doesn't entirely, if it's more plausible than Luke force projecting himself, force doppelgangering himself across the galaxy in real time, but 30 years younger or whatever, or well, maybe like 15 years younger, I don't know, to only die later on, then maybe they can use the Force as a way to find Han. Maybe there's going to be some connection. You know, maybe Leia, well, she's legitimately dead. But they might find a way to bring it back. They might find a way. I wouldn't put it past J.J. Abrams if they did that. The thing is, though, will the fans accept it? And I don't know if that's the case. I do not know if the fans will accept it. I do not know if the critics will accept it. I don't even know if Harrison Ford would accept it. But if I were working at Star Wars and I was Kathleen Kennedy and I was like, or J.J. Abrams or Chris Terrio, thinking like, how do I make this more fan-centric? How do I give back to the fans what The Last Jedi took from them? It would be bring back Han. It would be definitely a little bit confusing to get around at first, but I think at the end of the day, they might actually be able to figure it out. And with any luck, they will they'll do something, because I'm not going to lie, I would like a little bit more Han Solo in my damn life. I don't know about you.